Boyfriends make you ugly. Here's how. Okay, maybe boyfriends don't necessarily make you ugly, but not having boundaries when you have a boyfriend does. Boy, have I been putting off talking about this topic. And honestly, it makes total sense. It's embarrassing to talk about. It is showing vulnerability. There's all this feminine advice on the internet right now about don't let men know your weaknesses and don't let men know your past because they'll use it against you or they'll see you as a low value woman because of what you've been through and all that bullshit. Right? So needless to say, I have been avoiding talking about this like the plague because I'm like, well, I don't want to be seen as low value and I don't want to be taken advantage of, right? As I mentioned in a recent video, I am speaking my truth more. I'm giving less of a crap what people think about me, and I'm sharing my opinion because there are other people who are sharing way dumber opinions than mine. So here we go. Let's get into it, ladies. And guys, if you're watching, who cares?
Disclaimer, do not take this too literally, and if you are in a healthy relationship, this does not apply.
Okay, boyfriends make you ugly, or rather, not having boundaries with your boyfriend makes you ugly. I'm living proof of that, and embarrassingly, I'm going to show you. Here are a few pictures of me when I was in a 2-year relationship. And this was recent, mind you. This was only a few months ago I got out of this. And this is what my body looked like. This is what my face looked like. This is what I looked like. Okay, great. And then here are some pictures of me right after the breakup. So as you can see, I'm already starting to change. And then here's a couple pictures of me more recently. As you can see, my body and face and even just my whole demeanor has changed significantly in a short amount of time. And the main reason for that is I took my power back. I did. I suddenly had all of this time and energy freed up that I was way too freely giving away to some guy who wasn't really returning that energy back, so to speak. This video is not meant to shame anybody in particular. This is just my experience, and I want to share that because I see a lot of women out there struggling with this. They're depleting themselves by giving too much of their energy away, especially in the name of love. So what was the main issue going on? Well, of course, when you get into a new relationship, there's all this infatuation, this euphoria. It's exciting and new. It's most people's favorite part of the relationship because it's exciting. Problem is, I was not saving any of my time and energy after I had to go to work, had to be around for chores and family obligations. The only time I got to myself was in my car, sitting in traffic or going to and from home, work, and the boyfriend's house, right? I got maybe an hour alone time to myself. And needless to say, this did not feel good. Not only was I doing a lot more driving because I was going above and beyond to go see him, I was going to him, I was doing things for him, that when we as women start to do this and it becomes habitual to the point where you're doing this consistently for weeks and weeks, if not months and months, and then it turns into years and years, you start to get absorbed by your partner's energy. Your partner's energy, whether they're trying to or not, is absorbing you. I've noticed this kind of thing happen to me even in the best of times. I notice I start to look like my partner, at least when I look in the mirror, I start to notice more features like them. If my partner carries more weight, I start to gain weight. Just all kinds of things like that. And a lot of that is because we spend a lot of time together. We're often eating similarly or the same. And my activity level, which is a big one, starts to match theirs. This can be especially noticeable when two people are not completely compatible with each other. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that if somebody's way of living is just kind of opposite or complementary to yours, then this is a lot more noticeable when two people begin to merge as a unit, as a partnership. You start to notice that either one or both of them, their energy begins to change and shift, and they begin to try to neutralize and equalize each other. However, sometimes there is a more dominant force. It tends to kind of crush or absorb the other one. So before I talk about what are some good things you can do to help with this, let's talk about the mistakes I made. The mistake number one was not setting healthy boundaries. And that is physical boundaries, time boundaries, that's a huge one, energy boundaries. It was actually only maybe a couple months before my breakup that I actually started exercising these things. I started taking more of my time back. I got a gym membership. So I would have a place to go where I could spend more time by myself. I wouldn't just go do nothing at the gym. Of course, I would actually work out. So that definitely was helping with my body situation. I started going to hot yoga so I could find a more like-minded community since my boyfriend at the time, he wasn't into yoga or spirituality or anything like that. So I found another place where I could go to be around more people that matched my vibe and my energy more. I got those things, and that was a physical representation of, hey, I'm taking my time back. I'm taking my energy back. I'm not going to be able to see you during this time or this time because I'm going to be here. I'm going to be in this place. So I started doing that, and that was really, really, really helpful. Another thing that was a big mistake is I was driving everywhere to make it more convenient for my partner. This is something I strongly advise against girlfriends and women to do because it's stressful and dangerous to drive. And if you have a boyfriend that's completely okay with putting you out, making you exert 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour out of your day to drive or sit in traffic, wasting your time, putting yourself at risk for his convenience, then that's not okay. Unfortunately, the boyfriend isn't always going to say anything about that because his life is convenient like that. So it's up to you to put up the boundary to say, no, I'm not going to drive to you. So overall, the message of this is don't be his convenience. Do not go out of your way to give your valuable time and energy and resources for him, especially if you are a woman, because let's face it, if you're anything like me, your plate is already full, like completely full. You already have a job or maybe a couple jobs. You already have family and friend obligations. You need to have time for yourself, whether it's to rest and recover, to read, to go to the gym, to work out. You need to get proper sleep. So there's already a good 8 hours and 15 minutes out of your day that's being accounted for. You already have a full plate. So if you're siphoning away, overextending and giving your time and energy and resources, that's a big indicator that you have overstepped your boundaries, and that's making you ugly. When you're giving and your tank is empty, you're pulling from everything you got, which means you don't have anything left for yourself. And I can attest, this very quickly leads to exhaustion, to anxiety, and also, my favorite, to resentment. You begin to get super upset and wonder how your partner could possibly allow you to feel this way, how they could allow you to deplete yourself this way. And you kind of get pissed off that they're not picking up on the fact that you're doing the most, right? Well, unfortunately, that's where taking personal responsibility comes in. Yes, you can have a partner that's incredibly selfish and allows you to do these things, and that's their fault. However, this is where you come in and you have to put up the healthy boundaries. And if you've already overextended in this way, it can be incredibly difficult to carve out and take back your time and energy and rebalance the relationship. It's not impossible, especially if you have a good, loving partner that doesn't have any actively ill intentions towards you. You're just gonna have to really fight for it. So I'm honestly a little embarrassed to be talking about this because I feel like I learned this lesson really late in life, much later than some of my friends, much later than some other girls in the world. And you know what? That's totally okay. I'm just happy I learned the lessons. I'm happy that I got it eventually. I'm thankful that I'm free, that I am single, that I have this time to take back for myself. I'm so thankful that I have options. I'm so thankful that I have youth. I'm so thankful that I have this opportunity. And this is something that I want to share with many women out there. I want to show you that it is possible. You do have time at any age, honestly. You do have time, and it is possible to take back your power and to really claim your position and own and embody the goddess that you truly are meant to be, because you are. You already are a goddess. And there's guys out there that either don't recognize and don't understand and need to be educated more. And there's also guys that are perfectly happy with keeping you trapped, keeping you small, and siphoning away your feminine energy. And those are not the people that you want to be around. Those are not the people that are going to nurture you. You are a gift. Your energy is a gift. People need to earn that. People need to be worthy of that. Also falling in line with the whole setting boundaries thing is you need to give someone time so they can show you they're worthy. Especially if you are a kind, good-hearted person out there, there are so many people that are just ready to steal from you and ready to take from you. Again, speaking from personal experience, it is rough out there. You need to defend yourself. This is one way you defend yourself. You have healthy boundaries and you act on them. You enforce your boundaries. Not everyone is deserving of your energy. Not everyone is deserving of your time. You need to make sure someone is worthy. And by doing that, you actually don't have to do anything. I'll tell you that one. That was another big lesson I learned way too late. Hey, at least I learned it and I'm still young, right? You don't have to do anything. All you do is you sit back and watch. You listen. You just observe what that person does. And if you do not like what you see, bye-bye. Dunzo. They're gone. They're out of here. I was talking to a dear friend of mine recently about this topic, and she said, I know it sounds cold-hearted. I know it sounds sharp. but you have to. And you have to because people will take advantage of you, especially if you're a woman. And it's absolutely true. Some of the things I did to help me develop these boundaries was, one, I just got sick and tired of the same cycle, the same pattern, of the same thing happening over and over again. Same thing, different person, right? So I got sick of it and I had awareness. I took personal accountability and recognized that the reason this was happening to me was because I was not enforcing my own boundaries strictly enough. I would let things slide, I would let things happen, and then later I would be alone and I would be hurt and I would be upset and I would have to heal and recover by myself because I allowed someone else to hurt me. And I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want you to go through that. You've probably already gone through it, and I don't want you to keep going through it. So please understand that when I'm sharing this from my deepest of hearts. I'm sharing this from my personal experiences, and I really want you to flourish. I want you to be successful. You know, we have to have each other's backs, especially as women. Some actions that I did take after, of course, having awareness. As I mentioned earlier, I started going to hot yoga. I started going to the gym. I started going to places where I could spend some time, and it was an environment where I could enrich my body, which I love to do. I have been taking more time for meditation. I have been taking more time for journaling. I've been journaling for 77 consecutive days, which is amazing. And I've been doing it morning and sometimes morning and night. So taking some time to journal your thoughts and your feelings, to write down affirmations, to dream build, just like writing out the life that you want to experience as if you already have it, writing out the woman you want to become as if you already are her, because you are, and you know you are. You wouldn't have that desire if it wasn't meant for you. If you are looking for a more structured routine because maybe you're out of the habit, maybe you haven't built these habits, maybe they haven't stuck for you before, I have a 6-week positive habit challenge, which you can check out on my site. There are 5 activities a week. It only requires about a 10 to 15 minute commitment per day, 10 to 15 minutes, 5 days a week for 6 weeks. I specifically designed this program to help you build habits, to help you ingrain these habits in your daily life and into your lifestyle, and to help you maintain these habits over time. This is about playing the long game, ladies, okay? If you want the best for yourself, if you want the best for your relationships, you must be willing to do the work. And it doesn't have to be hard. And it doesn't have to be boring. I promise. It can be small acts that stack every day. All these activities are meant to help bring your power back, bring your energy back. This helps you center, this helps you breathe, this helps you calm and regulate your nervous system. In my self-care starter pack program that I also have, that I also highly recommend, this helps to rejuvenate and nurture yourself. This helps to care for yourself inside and out. These are all things that are highly important when you are taking your power back, making your mark, making space, setting up the healthy boundaries, demanding the respect that you deserve. Because I'll just be blunt with you. This might sound intense, but if you're not living and thriving, you're done. And I want to see you live and thrive because you deserve it. And even deeper than that, something that has really driven me in my life's journey and my mission, I have seen so many people in my family, in my community, throughout history, women especially, have their power depleted and taken. And it's caused them to get ill. It's caused them to pass prematurely. And I just would have liked to have seen so much more from them, from these amazing, impactful, inspiring, empowering women in my life. I would just love to get to share my life with all these amazing people, and I don't want it to be cut short. It might sound deep and it might sound intense, but I feel like nothing is more important than your health. And I'm talking about your physical health, I'm talking about your mental, your emotional health, your spiritual health, your energetic health. Because when these things are all in check, when these things are full, when these things are regulated, when you are nourished inside and out, it shows and it shines. And it's incredibly beautiful. And that's truly the gift that I want to share with you because you deserve it. One final note, there's nothing embarrassing about having a past. There's nothing embarrassing about having to learn the hard way why it's important to have healthy boundaries. There's nothing embarrassing about admitting that you've been taken advantage of before. And the reason is, 1, you're not alone. Many people are going through the same thing that you are. And 2, it's not embarrassing if you learn from it. Learn from it, grow from it, move past it. And once you do that, my friend, you are truly a warrior. So remember that. Thank you so much for listening. Please and thank you for checking out my programs. Check out my merch, check out my YouTube page. Have a beautiful rest of your day, a wonderful week ahead, and remember to stay grounded as always, my friends.